right, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Let's go on this November 9th. It's Veterans Week, and we're going to have a great meeting, and we're going to talk to two outstanding veterans who happen to be women, too. So hold on to your seats. They got plenty to say, and they will not, but it'll be a good treat as well. And yeah, we're going to jump in and fill in some things. Let's get some good energy going here. Ken's right in front and center. He must have something he wants to share. No, anything exciting, we got to go. We got people online as well. I see some people are jumping on. What do we got to share this morning? Anything? Going on a trip, getting married, pregnant, anything? Got business? All right, go ahead in the back.
I finally capped.
You finally capped. That's a big deal. Awesome. Never finally, you wish it happened a little bit quicker. Now you're here. Yes, David.
It's my birthday on Saturday.
Birthday on Saturday.
You're never too old to be bold.
You're never too old to be bold. Awesome. I hope you get everything that you desire for your birthday. Cool. Anybody else? Anybody online? Speak up. Oh, Brandon, go ahead.
I finally decided to quit my job with the kids and become full-time.
Full time, going in.
Be clear, not
Jump
his
in.
kid.
The water is fine. The water is warm. Okay, anybody else?
Give it up on the kids. All right, Brad, go.
Brad.
My oldest son, his football team has another playoff game this weekend, but has made it to at least the bowl games. So we're at the bowls.
Now that he said that, I will piggyback on that. So my 10-year-old, I coach my 10-year-old in Little League Baseball, and their playoffs start today, and we're the number 2 seed.
Despite the coaching.
Despite the coaching. There's so much talent on their team that I did not hold them back.
There you go.
Wish us luck, please.
All right, cool. Yeah, Travis.
Yes!
Yay, Travis.
Congratulations, Travis.
And details?
A little girl named Sophia.
Sophia.
All right.
Sophia was born when?
October 23rd at 4:11.
All right, awesome. Congrats. Life begins when you have a kid, or whatever you want to fill in. Yes. Anyone else? Good stuff. Yes. That way they can hear you online.
I'm taking my daughter camping this weekend with Girl Scouts, and so she's really looking forward to it this weekend.
And you too, right?
Yes, I get to go.
Yeah, I get the bell. Yes.
All right, sounds fun.
Making memories. That's good stuff. Keep going. Good energy. That way they can hear you online. Yes.
I'm hosting my first home buyer seminar on Sunday
Where are you having it?
at Saratoga in Rosharon.
Okay, very good. Awesome. That's a great. Okay, anyone else? All right, let's jump in and get some items going. All right, today we obviously have our honoring our veterans team meeting on Friday. Do we have a slide for each one of these?
we do.
This kind of a recap of some big things that we have going on, and we'll go into these on some details. Oh, by the way, it's that time of year again. Do you get to pay your HAR dues? Yeah. You get, that's a bold word, you get to handle your membership, and we always have a contest. So if you pay your dues in November, you don't need to tell us. We'll take 2 entries into a drawing, and at the end of November, we'll pull one, and if you are the winner, we'll cover your HAR dues for the year. So take care of it in November. If you do it in December, you get 1 entry into the drawing with the November people, and then we'll do another one at the end of the year to cover your dues. So just go take care of those. If not, Sydney and Norman and staff, we have to call you up and go, would you please take care of your HAR dues? It is one of Norman's favorite part of his job. Yeah, he loves to call you.
I get to talk to all of y'all.
Yes. So you have better luck if you take care of that sooner than later. All right. Next week, we will have our Thanksgiving potluck, and we'll do it right here in the Market Center. We'll have a team meeting. Please show up. Bring your favorite dish. We don't care what it is. There's no sign up. There's no tracking it. Just bring whatever you do. If it's your specialty in your house, bring it. And we do ask, make sure every year we always have like 4 or 5 people bring something at the tail end. And that's a major struggle because I'm already full and I wanted to eat your dish and it wasn't here in time. So it's all about Chad, right? So kidding. Yes. Make sure you bring that early, but we'll have a great setup. It's always something that's really good. Just bring your, and if it's a cultural favorite, then bring it to us. We like to try it all. That's next week. Okay. Also, we got a Christmas party. Sapana, did she come in?
She was in here.
And then she left. All right. What happened to her? Okay, Sapana is leading this on the AOC member. So we're having our holiday party, Christmas party, whatever theme you want to use. That is going to be December 2nd. That is a Friday. It's going to be at Sweetwater Country Club this year, mixing it up. How do they register?
There was an email sent out on or around November 3rd.
Okay.
Eventbrite will continue to
We'll
post
continue to
it
send it.
out. There's no cost for your music equipment, but there is a small cost for your +1. But please go ahead and get registered because our cutoff is before the end of the quarter.
That's right. And if you happen to have a vendor or partner that you really like to see Sapana, we're almost to our level. We need to have a great time, right? To cover your expenses and giving away some prizes as well. So we give away great prizes.
If you've never been there, it's a good Christmas party.
Yes. We'll have some music, some dancing. We'll go all in. And the holiday season is here, December 2nd. We'll knock that one out. Are you ready for the holiday season? Great lead generating too. Okay. Moving ahead, Namesh.
Yes, a few more additions to our schedule. All right, got some powerhouse things coming the next couple of days. First and foremost, a reminder that we're having a social media strategies to thrive in the shift class tomorrow, right here in the training room. This class has been done in multiple market centers. It's been the feedback I've gotten is that it's really popular. So we've brought it in here as an individual class for you guys. All right, this is tomorrow. Okay. And then on November 11th, Friday at 1:30, Sunbelt Inspections is coming in to do a structural inspections class. And this is a CE available CE. All right, 2-hour CE. So 1:30 to 3:30. All right. And this is the one to note. There has been a huge schedule change on the class that we had advertised about Facebook leads in KW Command. It has been shifted to Monday. Okay, it is Monday, November 14th now, not Thursday, the 17th. And our regional director of technology, Marty Miller, is going to be teaching this class in-house. And a special announcement, we have a special guest that's going to be co-teaching it with him, and that is David Voorhees. He's our executive director of KW Labs. Now, for those of you that have no idea what KW Labs is, it is our Keller Williams technology division that develops Command and the apps and the websites and everything KW technology related. And he is at the top of that list. And he is going to be in town, and we were able to arrange for him to be here at this time. All right, so it's a pretty special treat. You guys can even ask him questions. He'll probably have some Q&A, and he's going to help Marty lead this class. So I highly encourage you to be here. It's in person only. Again, this coming Monday at 9 a.m., 9 to 10:30, 1.5 hours. Okay?
All right.
Should be, oh, and one more last thing.
Okay, one more.
And that is going to be Al.
Oh, yeah. You guys all know Al?
Yes, great.
Al Kotri?
I'll
Yeah.
be doing a health insurance
Yeah.
seminar.
Yes, right here in the front.
Right after you guys get into the food at about 12:30, between 12:30 and 1:30. And just want to see if you qualify for the credits or not. This year, CMS has released a webinar where they said that 80% of the people that apply through the Obamacare will be able to get premiums of $10 or less. So we'll see. I can give you more details during the seminar, and I'll be here at 12:30. Thank
So
you.
Why are you able to give this information now?
Why?
Yeah.
I just want to
How?
share how I'm
licensed is it?
Well, I'm an agent here in this office for the last 12 years. I've been in financial services business for the last 30 years. And I've been doing insurances and financial planning and whatnot for the last 25 years.
And all he's doing is just sharing some
I
things,
just want to share
expertise.
information because there's a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
It's been around for 10 years, but
Yeah.
many people don't know how it works. If you qualify, you don't qualify. This year, especially, they've given extra credits during the Inflation Reduction Act or whatever act they passed 2 months ago. And that's going to bring your premiums down supposedly to $10 a month.
Okay,
So I'll see you then.
awesome. Thank you, Al.
12:30
Okay.
today.
All right. Oh, it's Verna. Verna, what you got? Come on up. Verna does not like speaking in front of the group.
Okay, no,
kidding.
no full BBL. Thank you so much for allowing me to grace the stage with you, Chad.
You're welcome.
No formal BBL, just an opportunity. As Chad said, it is the holiday season. So I just encourage you guys, as you're building your brand, to think ahead of the box, right? Think out of the box and ahead of the box. What I mean by that is everybody will start sending out their holiday Christmas cards and everything else. Beat them to the punch. Use this opportunity to reach out into your sphere, the people that you know, and express gratitude for whatever it is that they have brought into your life. And then from there on, if it is clients or past clients or friends that you know, and you have their address and they actually own their home before the end of the year, give them an equity analysis of their home, AKA CMA, and just back it out, right? And show them how much equity they have. That's it.
Shameless
Okay.
plug, CMA Snap is a great way to do that.
Yes. Okay. Oh, we don't have the veteran slide. Can you put it back on it? The main. There it was. Okay. All right. Let's shift ahead. I got a couple of guests. This is where you two would come up, Cynthia and Carlene. Come on up and join me. And today, Friday is actually Veterans Day, and yet we don't have a team meeting on Friday. We have it on Wednesday, and this is just not just one time of the year. You can come around on this side. I don't bite too much. Come up close. That way you're on. We have, a good amount of guests on here. This is really a focal point to us is recognizing our veterans, and it is a big group that we serve. First off, did you have an opportunity to go vote either yesterday or the week before? That is you can listen to all the noise you want on social media. I hope you never take that right for granted and know the unbelievable freedoms that we have in our country. We live in the greatest country in the world. There's a reason why Houston is a global city. People are literally like to come and because of the opportunity that it creates in this area. And it's thanks to veterans and people that served in our military before. And so these are two ladies who are passionate about it, right? They are veterans and are served, and we're going to hear their stories. And yet I also believe there's such an education piece that we miss out on of serving our veterans. So here's where we're going to start. You're going to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit of your story.
Okay.
Why the military? Where did you serve? And give us a little behind the scenes look at where you served and why you're passionate about it.
Okay, so hi, everybody. My name is Cynthia Contreras. And let's see, I've been with Keller Williams going on 3 years. Is that right?
You want me to keep track of that or not?
Somebody needs
With
to, not
Cynthia,
me.
it feels like
Forever. We know. We know. Nothing but love here from Chad.
Yes, of course.
I am a Navy veteran. Okay, so the best field out there. And I did 6 years in the military, got out in 2001.
So why the military? How did you raise your hand and say, sign me up?
That was really easy. Okay, so my mother is not from the United States. I was the first person in my family to go to college. But before that, when I was in high school, I was trying to figure out how am I going to pay for this? And I had no idea. I didn't know which way was up. And my mom said, we can't afford it. We can't afford to send you. And I didn't know anything about student loans or any opportunities that were out there. but I knew that the Navy or the military would pay for my college. So I just walked into a recruiter's office one day and was like, okay, I'm ready, let's go. Which is probably the recruiter's best dream, right? Like,
I got a live one.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
right.
That's like come list me in the recruiter's world.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yes.
And thankfully, the recruiter put me into a great field. I spent 6 years in the Navy and got to see a whole bunch of the world. FYI, the world is mostly water.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Said somebody from the Navy.
Said
too,
somebody
right?
from the Navy. Yeah,
Yes,
that's exactly
yes.
right.
Where was your favorite place that you were stationed or that you were sent?
So I was stationed in Bremerton, Washington. So the Puget Sound is beautiful,
Mm.
but we got to go on what were called Westpacs, Western Pacifics. So I got to see, we would go to Hawaii, we would go to Singapore. I've been to Thailand, I got to see Hong Kong. And then we'd go and hang out in the Middle East. So a lot of the Persian Gulf, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain. Those weren't as pretty as Singapore and Thailand. Those were really pretty.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Your turn. Introduce yourself. Tell us your story.
I am Carlene Johnson, and I have to do this because this will come back later. Picture it, 1970, Mandeville, Jamaica, West Indies. Out pops a baby and they say, it's a boy. Oh no, it's a girl. That's me. I'm originally from Jamaica, Mandeville, Jamaica, West Indies. And so we moved here when I was 6 years old. And so I grew up, we spent a couple years in New York. And then my mom brought us here to Houston, Texas. I don't know how she found out about Houston, Texas, but here we were. In high school.
Keep going.
I got into the military. How I got into the military was in high school, my junior year in high school, I was at the mall waiting for my mom to pick me up and was bored. And there were 4 military recruiters' offices there. And I was like, I'm just going to go in there and listen to pass the time. I never considered going into any other office except the Air Force because we're the brains of the operation. Anyway.
Ooh, she's sad-eyed. She's like.
And so I went in there, and when they spoke, they talked about travel and education. Those 2 things are what, I was like, oh, because like I said, I went in there with it was just to pass the time. And so I ended up in the delayed entry program because I was a junior in high school. I was not yet 18. So I was in the delayed entry program for a year. And then I graduated in June of '89. August of '89, I left for basic training. The job, keeping in mind, that's why I started with Jamaica. As a non-citizen, my first enlistment, I could only be in the military for 4 years. As my first enlistment, a non-citizen, because I had a general security clearance. So the job that I was put into was MWR-SS. Morale, Welfare, Recreation, and Services. You're familiar with that?
Yeah, MWR.
Yeah. And when I went into, I was stationed at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in Goldsboro, North Carolina. And my first job was at the fitness center there. And I was one of 2 military members that were assigned to the fitness center. But our job encompassed the fitness center. We coordinated extramural activities where there were competitions and all of that. We also, the 2 places I worked while I was at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base was fitness center and the base hotel. I joined the military in August of '89. August of '90. What happened? Our entire base pretty much was deployed, including me with the general clearance. And when during my deployment, what I was supposed to do, or what I was tasked with, was the same thing I was doing stateside, and that was to create activities to distract the troops from reality that was there. I was there for approximately 7 months. And in context, our order said we leave on this date and the return date is blank. So we never knew when we were coming back. But it was 7 months of interesting service. And then when I came back, I had all my paperwork filled out to get my citizenship because I intended to be a lifer in the Air Force. And in North Carolina, it took a year for the process to become a US citizen, but the military had the ability to expedite that. When I asked them to do that, they didn't do that. They said no. And so I was like, I can go in the real world and make the same money. And so I did not re-enlist. And I got out the military, came back to Houston, was making the same money, but had to pay rent, light, all those things we took for granted while deployed, while active duty. And so I got my citizenship, joined the Air National Guard, and I served 2 years active duty at Ellington Field in finance. Okay, I'm done for now.
Okay, all right. So you hear a passion here in the store, and I think it's important that we hear our veteran stories. I know some of you have connections and served. We want to recognize that too as we go along with this. And yet, let's fast forward to serving veterans today, right? And when we say serving them in the eyes of real estate, why are you passionate about it? That's pretty easy to connect, right? Would agree is, and yet what would you like to educate people along the way when it comes to serving our veterans?
Oh, the number one thing is how strong a VA loan is. And, coming out of the market that we've had from the last 2 years, the majority of my clients are veterans. And so they're coming in and there's this perception that a VA loan isn't a strong loan, or a VA loan isn't going to command the same value that a conventional or a cash loan is. So sometimes that means educating the agent on the other side. And if I have the seller, it's educating the sellers to help them understand the benefits of this particular type of loan. And then when I'm representing them as a buyer, making sure that they can utilize other areas of the contract to write a stronger contract to make it more enticing for the seller, regardless of what type of loan it is. Yeah, that's the number one thing.
Okay. How about you? Serving our veterans. Why is it a passion? Why is it important?
When I got into real estate, I was guilty or listened to the chatter as to the fact that the VA loan was not a good loan. And so, don't have your clients or don't have your sellers, even consider a VA loan. But then when I educated myself and realized just the true information about the VA loan, then it became my passion.
Yeah.
Because, the facts are that a lot of the information that's currently being dispersed that a lot of people have is old information. And just like everything else, loans in the mortgage industry, we all know things change on a daily basis. And that is the same thing with the VA loan. And as real estate professionals, it is a part of our fiduciary duty to be educated about all types of loan products so that we can educate our sellers and our buyers with the true and correct information. I encountered someone that said that a seller verbalized that when a VA loan came across and it said 0 down, they felt that that meant that the buyer had no money. That goes back to the listing agent, right? The listing agent should have educated their client, their seller, as to no, that is not, but that was the reasoning behind why that seller would not even consider VA loans.
Yeah.
And so it's something that I became passionate about. And then in 2018, it just became like my focus. So.
And I will say the first house I ever bought was using some type of loan product that wasn't a VA loan. And the lender knew I was a veteran, but did not even offer that. And this was in 2005, so well before my real estate career. And I had no idea of how I was being taken advantage of for whatever loan product it was. Okay. And I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't VA, that's for sure. Right. And so now, knowing what I know now, it's my mission for the veterans that come out to use this product and be educated on it so that you're not in the same position I was in 2005.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, who in here can tell me the one factor that will show you or let you know that someone's a veteran? Yes, ma'am. I mean, visual, like when you
Oh, you
go,
can't.
when you go,
can't.
exactly.
You can't tell.
Exactly.
You can't.
And so one of the things I encourage real estate professionals to do is when you have a conversation with anyone, start it off, a part of it, incorporate it where it's, did you serve? Not necessarily, are you a veteran?
Yes.
Because there are veterans out there that don't identify as veterans. There are individuals out there, the mentality in the military is service before self. There are veterans that will not utilize their earned benefit because they feel that they're taking charity or it just does not fit into the mentality of service before self. But if you ask, did you serve? That opens the conversation, and then you all create strategic partnerships with mortgage lenders that you can just, introduce them to those individuals. And that mortgage lender, their first step should be to pull that veteran's certificate of eligibility. If you speak to a mortgage lender that does not know that, that mortgage lender should not be serving your veteran.
That's a good takeaway. Take away that one question, right? Just ask, did you serve? And I think my dad served and he would never take advantage of it because he thought what he did in duty wouldn't qualify him or he wasn't worthy to receive the benefits. And so that is a very true statement along the way. He didn't even feel comfortable standing when they wanted to acknowledge veterans because he was 2 years in Germany and it wasn't very hard. And so he didn't feel like he needed to. So great point. I hope if you take away one thing is take away that, did you serve? And if they did, encourage people to go, then take the benefits that come along for that. And there are some great benefits, and there still is a misperception in our community about a VA. Oh, we have to deal with the VA. I don't want to have to go through all the hoops. So how do we educate people to go? You touched on it briefly, but really break it down. How do we educate our community? That'd be us as real estate professionals. And how do we educate that to sellers and buyers of the benefit and why we would want to take advantage of this product.
As real estate professionals, oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Go, jump in. You
Go.
tell them.
As real estate professionals, I would strongly encourage you to attend any class you see that has to do with the VA loan. I do that because first and foremost, I want to hear what people are saying, what information's being put out there. But also, each time you attend it, you're going to grasp something else. You're not necessarily going to be proficient, but each time you're going to pull something else and it will open up your understanding of the VA loan. Additionally, find mortgage lender partners that are proficient in VA loans because they can provide a wealth of information and also assist you when you do have a veteran that you encounter, veterans and military members. Okay, what's the 6th branch of the military? Yeah.
Say that again so everybody hears it.
Space Force.
Space Force.
Space
Right
Force
over there.
is now a branch of the 6th branch of the military. There are a lot of people that don't realize that, even military members that don't realize that. So, I mean, it's education.
And sometimes it's just going to be one transaction at a time. So if you're on the sales or on the, and you've got the listing, then, and you have a VA loan come across your desk and you are unfamiliar with it or unfamiliar with the terms, reach out to the lender on that pre-approval or reach out to your favorite lender partner and ask them questions. Ask them about the appraisal process. Ask them about the minimum standards that are required for habitability so that you know, and then you can turn around and educate your sellers on that, right? It's one transaction at a time.
So you're saying in Houston, we're going to come across some veterans.
Maybe.
No, but no, tell them a little bit about
There-
it
yeah.
because we sometimes think we're not in a military community
Oh, no.
because we don't have a base like a San Antonio or San Diego. Tell us why Houston is a spot where veterans settle, so to speak, and live.
Houston has over 300,000 veterans.
Yep.
We have the highest number of women veterans in the country, in the greater Houston area. And that's why I asked the question, what does a veteran look like? You don't know. You probably know a veteran, or you may be having conversations and have a relationship with a veteran and
And
don't
have
even
no
realize
idea.
that they are.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, we're everywhere.
And one thing to note about that, when we're talking about the VA benefits, Texas is unique. We have the Texas Veterans Land Board as well. And for both the VA loan and the Texas Veteran Land Board benefits, the fees and the loan originations, all of those change based on whether or not the veteran has a disability or has a rated disability or how much of a rated disability they do have. And when you talk about, can you recognize a veteran? The same goes, can you recognize a veteran with a disability? Because so many times, and thankfully, the VA is now recognizing things like post-traumatic stress, which is not a disability that's physical that you could see, right? Like a missing limb or something of that nature. And so the same thing, you're not going to be able to tell if you have a veteran with a disability unless you ask.
And the way to ask that,
Yeah.
because some
Yes.
people are just like, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
ask
don't, you can't be like, are you disabled?
No,
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 no, no, no.
you know.
What's wrong
once-
with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my God, if they tell you you're rated, don't ask what's wrong with them.
Yes.
What is your rating level?
Once, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Give us
Do
the
you have
words. Words
sort-
matter, especially
do
on
you-
these
do
topics.
you
I would
have a
write
dis-
this down.
It's basically, do you have a VA disability rating?
Yes,
That's a yes or no
that's a
question.
yes or no question.
Do you have a VA disability rating?
So do you serve? And then you would follow up and ask them the
Yes.
next question.
And if they ask, why do you need to know? Well, this will impact which potential, whether the VLB or the VA loans and what fees are charged to you during that process and will impact how much cash you would need to close
Yeah, or what benefits you
or
could
what
have
benefits
with
you
you
have. Yes.
for your package.
Yeah.
Yes.
Follow up to, do you have a VA disability rating? If they say yes, I'm assuming it's permissible and good question to follow. What is your rating, or is that something you need to want to do?
That's something you leave to the lender.
Correct.
Leave that to the lender. The lender is able to pull all that information and determine what programs they're eligible for, really how much their loan origination fee would be.
Okay, what's the one thing you want to leave with the group? That to me is huge value, by the way. I hope you wrote those questions down, a very specific, strategic, professional way to ask, and you just do not know. And 300,000 in Houston area, we're gonna come across them in our
That's
area.
the biggest one right
Yeah.
there. Is there really are over 300,000 veterans in this Houston area. So knowing about these loans, knowing about these benefits is going to be critical to not just helping veterans, but also increasing your business, right? And that's ultimately at the end of the day, still need to pay our own bills.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what's the one thing you want to leave the group with? And then we'll ask some questions.
One other thing is to understand that there are active duty military members that
Mhm.
qualify for
Mhm.
the VA loan also. So be mindful of that. If, if they say I'm serving now, that does not mean they don't qualify for the VA loan.
Correct.
So keep that in mind also. That was not my one thing.
Okay.
Okay,
Can
what's
I-
your one thing
Can I-
you want to
can I-
leave? Yeah,
Can I speak on
yeah,
my? Okay.
you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Carlene Johnson, and I am chapter president of the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals here in Houston, Texas. How many of you have heard of that? Thank you very much. Okay. We are a national nonprofit, and we are the only national nonprofit that is committed to VA loan education. And so we have classes, we have different events to educate real estate professionals regarding the true and correct information about the VA loan. You do not have to be a veteran to be a member. The community that we serve is the veteran, military and veteran community. And so with that being said, I would love for you all to join us in accomplishing our mission, which is VA loan education, getting this wrong, changing
Perception, lack of education.
all of it.
Yeah,
That's what we're about. And we would love to have you all join us.
that's good. That's a good takeaway.
Where
Yes.
could we get more information
Yes.
on that?
What do you plug in?
Yeah, I just want to know where we can get more information. What's your website? What's your website?
VAREP.net is the website. Our membership is $99 per year. If you go and you decide, it gives all information as to what we're about. But if you decide to become a member, when you decide to become a member,
There you go.
please make sure to choose Houston chapter. VAREP, VAREP.net. And for you all to get an overview as to the local chapter, VAREPHouston.org will give you an overview as to what we're doing. And it also gives you the different events that we have coming up, where you're able to sign up and just attend those things.
Okay, one other takeaway? Anything you want to leave the group with? You're done.
Good,
Okay,
yeah,
any
good.
questions we might have? Mike Day. That way they can hear you online.
Hi, thanks. You all sound great today. Could you give us some help and scripts that we could use to talk to other agents when we're representing veterans? That to the other agent that's listing the house, that even though there are fees that they might have to worry about with VA loans or appraisals that they have to worry about with regard to VA loans, and they might not want to deal with us.
Ooh. So I don't have a script per se, but I do, if I sense that hesitancy, I don't hesitate to get on the phone with the listing agent and have that conversation with them. And it really is just also calling the lender and asking what they're seeing in appraisals. So very similar to, I remember after Harvey, right? Sometimes the appraisals would come back and you just didn't quite know what the appraiser was gonna say. Lenders have a feel for that based on, especially if they're doing a lot of VA loans, because they're issuing out a lot of appraisals and they'll get a feel for what's coming back. And so if I'm nervous or if I have that hesitancy, I call my favorite lender and say, what are you seeing? Or I'll call their lender and ask what they're seeing. But having those conversations with the listing agent and giving them that, sometimes they don't even think to call their lender and ask them what they're seeing on the appraisals.
And another thing I would suggest is, first and foremost, the fees that you just referenced, all the fees that used to be associated with the VA loan that the seller had to pay, that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So that, once again, is educating your seller that, you know, it's like, what fees are you referring to? And to be able to say, well, that fee, that is no longer a seller fee. The buyer can absorb that fee, or
Like
things
the wood
that.
destroying insects.
Right. All those fees that used to be, that is not the case anymore. Additionally, pointing out the fact that the appraiser, most appraiser or VA appraisers are usually FHA and conventional appraisers also. It's just that the VA has specific requirements that they have to, you know, look out for. And so once again, going back, it's, you speak to the lender or have the lender speak to your, establish a relationship with a mortgage lender that is proficient in VA loans, and just have that, ask that lender, can you talk to my seller and answer some, until you become proficient in, you know, where you're able to answer the questions, ask that mortgage lender to talk to your seller and answer questions.
And Google is great,
Google University.
right? Google University, minimum habitability standards for VA loans. You can find PDF, PDFs of what is there. But at the end of the day, they want to make sure, the VA wants to make sure that they are providing a house for a veteran that's going to be safe and sound for them to live in, right? Does it have a functioning roof? Does it have a functioning AC unit? They want to make sure it's not a lemon that our veteran is going to purchase and then be burdened with trying to, fix or repair.
Okay. Any other questions? Thoughts, takeaways? Anybody else in the audience who's is active or has served in our US military? Anybody else we have? Just two women that are here? Anybody online that is with us that is served or active?
Crickets.
Good, we have an opportunity. Okay, great. Okay, so we got your, go ahead.
I want to say one thing. You see two women up here that are veterans. Please do not discard or overlook women. If it's a man and a woman and you find out that they're veterans, do not automatically assume, because I get it. They automatically go to my husband. Where did you serve? And my husband's like, so don't assume.
Yeah.
It's that perception is still out there that the veteran is the man.
Well, you just said at 300,000, you said,
We have the highest.
yeah, the
women
highest
here
number in the
Houston.
Houston. You're more likely to come across a female who veteran or active served than you are in male than in the Houston area. Great takeaway, by the way. I filed that one in my brain because I would have got that one wrong. Good takeaway. That's great. Okay, anyone out? Did we miss anyone who's active? Because in the years past, we've got it. We have a pin. We want to make sure anyone online. We're working hard at identifying our agents who are veterans or active in the military in our roster. So make sure you raise your hand and let us know. Do we miss anybody
Oh,
online?
no,
That's just
that's-
our own.
oh.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. There's a whole other page.
Yes, we got to, yeah, we have
Nope.
a solid group on there. Okay. Making sure we didn't miss anybody. Okay, awesome. Next group is if, right, you've had a family member who has served, right? And this can be parents, can be a spouse, they're not here, right? Which Could be a female, as we've learned today, or children. Anybody else? Yeah, right. Yeah, stand up for us. We'd love to hear, but I'd love to hear the story. You got to stand up and tell us. Linda does, but not Mike or Mike. Go ahead, Linda.
So Mike and I are the proud parents of a son who is a lieutenant, right? Lieutenant commander in the Navy. He went to the Naval Academy. I grew up a Navy brat. My father was a Navy pilot, and go Navy. Beat
All
Army.
right. That's awesome. Okay. All right, hand it around. I love hearing about all these. And we'll take a picture at the end too. We'll have you guys come up.
Hello, my dad was in the Army. He was a military police officer in Germany.
Okay, awesome. Great. Thanks for sharing. Ken.
My father was a Marine, served and was killed in the Korean War accident.
Oh,
in the Korean
wow.
War activity, so that's my.
You did, okay. Did you meet your father?
I was 13 months old when he died.
Oh, wow. Wow.
My father served in Vietnam, and he actually just got out of the military in 2018 at the age of 72.
Wow. Okay, cool. Sure. That's awesome. Okay.
My father served in the Army.
Uh-huh.
He was in Korean War, and then my husband served and was in the Gulf War. So
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
My son, Webster Turner, served in the Navy, and he retired 4 years ago after serving 25 years.
Wow. Anybody else?
My father-in-law served in the Air Force Reserves, and my brother-in-law served in the Navy for 10 years. So,
Okay. Awesome. Keep it going.
My father was in the Korean War. He served in the Army. One thing I want you to know about some of those veterans from that era, there were some errors and actual accidents. My father was unsure of his benefits as a veteran because the building where all of the records were stored had a fire. And all of the records, obviously this was way back in the 60s, I want to say, all of those records were destroyed. And so my father never got any of his benefits until a few years ago. So
Wow.
something to have to track down. It was difficult.
Wow. Okay.
My husband served 7 years, 4 years as a Marine and 3 years in the Army. So very proud of him.
All right. So we ran. Hey.
I heard a bunch of old ones, so I think I'll bring one up too. My mother's cousin, Mitchell Red Cloud, served in Korea and was awarded a Medal of Honor.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And have a ship commission now.
Oh, wow. Cool. Great. All right. Anybody else? Krista?
My husband, Daniel, he's also an agent here. He served in the Army as an Army bandsman. So he played the piano. He was deployed to Afghanistan. And your story about the fire reminded me, the summer we were engaged, I went to visit him at Fort Bragg. The weekend we were there, July 4th concert, which is big for a bandsman, the band hall burned down and all the instruments inside. And that was like 2 or 3 days before the concert. And so, but in Army fashion, they figured out a way, pulled it all together, got instruments and music, and he was the librarian, and they put on a great 4th of July performance.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Anybody online? Do we miss? Like to share? Don't be bashful. Okay, great. All right, here's what we'd like to do to fit. Thank you guys. That was actually really solid information. Bishop, if you were somebody that shared, we would love to get your picture right here. Oh, by the flags. Okay. If you're sitting there, you got to move. We'd love to get your picture. We're going to do it right now. real quickly, we'd love to honor you if you were the one of them. Is member, a family member, a kid, your own kid going off and doing these things. That is stress. I think that's more stressful for the parents than the actual one going through it. And yet, in one way or another, we've been impacted. So come in and join us. You don't have to stand near your flag, but you could. Stay, we're not leaving yet online. We're just getting a picture. Good. All right, great. Thank you, guys. Good stuff. Do not forget to give thanks and gratitude that people have served that make our country great, and the freedoms and the liberties and things we have. You get to speak your mind on social media because a veteran who served our country. So thank you. And that was some great information. You know, when they're sitting there talking about a VA and educating ourselves, it made me go to the Shift book. Have you guys heard of this? Okay, great. Have I shared anything with the Shift book? In Tactic 10, it says expand the options, creative financing. This is not a bad word when it comes to creative. And yet there's some great points that you get in here. It says this term we use to describe creative ways to resolve affordability challenges. Do we have some affordability challenges right now? Did you serve, right? Do you have a rating for this? Those are ways, there's benefits for a veteran who's gone through it. We're going to come across them, and it helps it to be affordable to get them in a product that they deserve. And so when we talk about it, every buyer is unique. Every seller is unique. Every lender is unique. And then comes along the economy and the market itself, creating unique environments in which these three parties must do business. Just fits all in this. All this means is one thing. If the conditions warrant creativity, I'm going to use knowledge, right? We've got to be able to put these together and ask the tough questions and make people have benefits away. And this was just one small component of that when it comes to veterans. So thank you guys for serving. That was really good. If you have some more, or you would like to be involved, make sure you look at the site or come and talk to CJ. We still call you CJ. And CJ is she came back to us. She's KW. She got a little lost in her ways, and yet she came back to us as well. And so we're excited to have her back at Keller Williams. What was that, a couple months ago? Yes. Yeah, 2 months ago, she returned to KW as well. Okay, yeah. Yes.
So I just want to make an announcement about the Casa Home Tour. It's December 9th and 10th. One of our agents, CW Ross, he and his wife, Ann, their home is going to be on the home tour, and we're looking for volunteers.
Tell them what the Casa Home Tour is.
So Casa Home Tour is, it benefits Child Advocates of Fort Bend. So, and their mission is to help the kids that have been abused and neglected in our community. It's a great organization, and the home tour is one of their major fundraisers.
How many homes will be open?
So I think there's 5 homes that are opened in Fort Bend County, and they have volunteers sign up so that, these are people's homes. So there's volunteers in each room there, and they go all out decorating for Christmas. So you're there to make sure people don't touch things, or, no slippery
Take
fingers
things,
there.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a great way to get out there in the community. You see a lot of people coming through the house. You can say hi. If we have, I think, 5 or more agents at a shift, you can wear your name tag. You can't wear a Keller Williams shirt, but you can wear your name tag. You're supposed to wear Christmas attire or buy a t-shirt that they're selling. And it's just a great way to get out there and help a charity. So I'm going to put a link out on the KWSW closed group, and so it's Sign Up Genius, so you can sign up that way.
Okay, good
Okay.
stuff. That is an awesome thing that we have. And I tell CW and Ann, they're crazy because that is a lot of work to put your house available for a tour. So yes, it is. A lot of decorations along the way. Okay, great. Our vendor partners, come on up and join me. Norman will kick to the slide. Come on up and kick us off and share something of value with us.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, I love being first. Hey, real quickly. So what is the biggest benefit that you as agents know in regards to a VA loan? Okay, all right. So 0 down, which means 0 money down, correct? If a veteran writes an earnest money check as a deposit to purchase a house, can they get that money back? Yes. Yes. If it what? Absolutely. So as a veteran, part of the seller contribution that's allowed is up to 4% of the sales price. If the seller is committed to a seller contribution and it covers all the closing costs, then the veteran potentially can get that deposit back at closing. Can a veteran buy an investment property? No, unless it was a multi-unit and they're going to occupy a unit. Okay. The veteran and the benefits are to be applied towards a primary purchase, primary residence. If a veteran uses their VA benefits, can they have their VA benefits currently in use and purchase another house as a primary residence? Depends upon their remaining entitlement. If they sell that house, what is the steps the veteran needs to do to be able to purchase the next home? Anyone? Carlene knows it. If a veteran has purchased a home and sells a home, what must they do in order to purchase their next home as a primary residence? They have to reinstate their benefits. There's a limit. Can you purchase a VA loan, use your VA benefits for a $1.5 million house?
Only to a part of it.
Yes.
Up to $1 million.
It used to be that way. A veteran can purchase as long as they qualify with 0 money down, still out of pocket. 2 years ago, they changed that. So that's one of the great benefits there. We're here, we do a ton of VA loans. They're a fantastic loan, probably the best loan program available that's out there for the benefit or for the VA veterans. If they had a service-related disability, and if that disability is 100% as rated through the VA, they do not pay property taxes in the state of Texas. They would have a principal and interest and insurance payment plus HOA dues. It's a fantastic benefit. And if you all are not working with a lender that's going to ask these questions, is the best program and the best benefit for your buyer, I would say jump in. Yes,
I'm gonna
ma'am.
Jump in on this,
Yes.
okay? So, correct, the veteran that with 100% service-connected disability does not have to pay property taxes. Keep in mind, though, if they purchase the house through the year, those seller credits from the seller taxes show up as a credit on their closing statement. Those credits are due to the county at the next tax year. So in January, when those bills are due. So unless you're in November, when the tax bill comes out and then the title company pays the taxes, make sure you let your veteran know they need to hold those credits to pay that tax bill come January. And if you can't, it gets complicated, I know, but just think, okay,
It's not that complicated.
it's not that complicated. There's 100%, there's something about the taxes, and I'm gonna go find Cynthia, I'm gonna go find CJ, I'm gonna go talk to Dale, so that they let me know what it is they need to do. And it'll be fine.
Easy. Real simple. Thank you all. We
Yeah,
want the
thank you.
chance to help you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Melissa from Patent Title downstairs. By the way, we just got news that Harris County tax records just came out. Now, they're one of the last ones to come out. So being a preferred partner to you guys, what does that mean to you, us being preferred partners? It mean what? Yes, absolutely correct, Murtis. It means that we're your go-to person. Whether you use us or not, you know, we'll get to that later. But my main concern right now is to help you guys. And Chad and everyone at Southwest has, you know, put their trust in me as a preferred partner. And I take it very seriously. I'll answer the phone on a Saturday when somebody called to see if they could split up the land in half and just sell half of it, and certain things, you know, questions that maybe I can answer, maybe I can't, but if I can't answer them, I'm gonna get you that answer within minutes. So always call me. You can call me on Saturday. I did a net sheet on Saturday. There are multiple things that I'll do, you know, anytime you need me. So that is being a preferred partner. And sometimes it's just, you know, it's not always who can show up with the best cookies and, you know, the best cupcakes, and it's who shows up to events for you and who answers the phone for you and who can answer your questions. And like I said, it's not always about if you send me the contract or not. I'm obviously a salesperson, so that would be ideal, but that's not my main concern with you guys. Being a preferred partner means that I'm here for you at any time. Oh, my fun fact. My fun fact. Did you know Larry Jerker, who's a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, who pitched for the team in 1964 through 1976, is the only person to have played and managed the Astros to a World Series appearance.
All right.
He pitched and played.
Thank you. So I'm a partner too, okay. So being a partner means we support your party, like Christmas party, something like that. Hope you can support me too, okay? And also I'm trying to help you guys and pick up some extra cash. Even though I don't speak Spanish, if you have customers speak Spanish, I can hook you up with my teammate who speaks Spanish. And then all you need to do is just send me the phone name, and then I can ask my teammate to close the sale for you. If it get closed, you still get the referral fee, okay? It's easy to call me or text me to connect electricity for your clients, okay?
It's that easy.
Thank you.
Use it. Yeah, really. All right. And our lunch sponsor. Come on up, come on up. Norman has the slide, maybe.
All right, yeah, I think we do. Perfect. Oh, this is our postcard. There we go. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Nicolas Cubiras. I just go by Nick. I'm the marketing manager for Studio Voss. I always like to start with a little joke. I know that's actually just a random dog I found, but isn't he adorable? They're just, you know, the magic of being nice to people. So what did the photographer say right before he got married? It's an old one. Yeah, I can really picture us together. Yeah, I love it. The groans mean you heard me. I like it. The mic is on. All right. All right. So we're going to go through a little presentation here. Studio Voss is a local family business out of Katy. We've been operating there for over 12 years. We shoot about 200 homes a month with a variety of partners. People really like our work. I'm going to go through some of the reasons why, talk to you about some pricing, a few things that make us different, and I'm going to go as fast as humanly possible. All right, so what we offer is the kind of things you might typically see in a real estate photographer. However, we are a one-stop shop. So when it comes to premium real estate photography, we're going to have everything. We're going to do your photos. We're going to do your twilights, the videography, drone, aerial footage, 3D virtual tours, staging, decluttering, every order is going to come with a free property website as well. So you can send that link out to anybody. And then it's also going to come with a free flyer design tool, which is really helpful as well. When you're doing your open houses, you can print everything from HAR, but you can also drag and drop a really nice flyer with all the images we provide to you. All right, not all real estate photography is the same. The key that we're looking for in premium real estate photography, I'll point out a few things, is one, you're gonna see simple things like creases of the leather on furniture. You're always gonna be able to see through the windows. You're gonna see that like at the top, you've got these yellow lights and it's not making the whole house look yellow. So that's something that they call color casting in the industry. That's pretty much when we use our phones. And then I do want to say something that is very unfortunate. In premium real estate photography, you can spend a lot of money on cameras and lenses, and it makes a big difference, but that's your starting point. About 80% of the magic is done in post edits. So I know a lot of folks do try and buy a really nice wide angle lens, and that's awesome. That's your start. Now you got to learn Photoshop. So we have a whole team that does this. That way we can offer a 24-hour turnaround on everything. So you're going to get shots like this every single time, any shoot, all the different greens, all the beautiful skylines, all the different colors in the fireplace, the couches. You're not going to have unusually stretched out items. And then, of course, we're going to get to some of the favorite things that we do with our computer programming. For me, that's digital decluttering. I'm sure a lot of y'all have gone into a house and seen something like this. Oh, we're in a hurry, just dump it all in that room. That's fine. We're going to turn it into this. You're not going to see any difference between the blinds, the casting of the shadows, the texture of the carpet. It's going to look totally authentic. And then one of my favorite things that we can do with that as well is once we empty a room, we can fill it with virtual furniture. So of course, we're all familiar with virtual staging. What sets us apart is we have real 3D scans of high-end luxury furniture. What that means is that when we drop something in, it's not going to look like clip art that you got from Microsoft. You're going to see the textures, you're going to see the shadows. Everything is going to be 100% accurate. That's just, I love doing that. Don't ask us if we can put a pool in. We can, but you shouldn't do that if there's not a pool. All right, so once we've emptied a room out, this room came this way, so I don't want to like mislead you. This room did come this way, but when I say virtual staging, I'm talking about this. So not only are you going to get your setting, we're going to have some nice artwork for you. This plant is conveniently placed to cover a slightly unattractive outlet. You're going to see that the shadows from the legs of the floor are perfect. This image zoomed in, you can see some pixels. That's not normal, so don't expect that. You're going to have the table setting, the flowers, all of that. Of course, you can substitute. You can bring your own flowers. You'll just have the same flowers in every shot. We're going to switch that up for you, make it look like a fresh house. Again, we're going to go from something like this. Something like this. Again, this is real furniture. We don't have a link for you to buy it. Just, you know, don't ask that one. But this is real furniture, and we're going to go always above and beyond. You're going to have books where there's places, if there's candles, they're going to be lit. If there's lights, they're going to be on. You're going to see how the shadows and the lighting are perfect from the lamps and how it casts everything correctly. So. Yep, and by all means, if anybody has a question anytime, interrupt, raise your hand, and I'll call you out. Yeah.
Can you, so for an overcast gray day, can you make it look like that?
Oh, easy, every single day. And I'm going to show you some of our virtual twilights. We even do virtual moving twilights. I didn't bring any samples of that for you today, but a lot of people are looking on Instagram, and if you want to have a nice, sexy brand, you got to have videos. And so one of the things that we're doing for realtors is also moving the cloud. So you have like a 7-second loop. So when they're scrolling on your page, this gets you all the hits of a video without having to produce like, you know, it's just, oh, hey, this is Nick going through that. Oh, okay, hey, this is Nick going through the, oh man, the light's not right. So We're gonna get you that so you get all the same reaction by manipulating that Instagram algorithm. And then you still have like a nice, really nice shot of your home, which is always gonna be the focus. Did I see another hand there? Yeah.
Do you have the same photos for MLS that you would for magazines or for print things? Because usually the number of pixels is different.
Yeah, because we do, I mean, I told you guys that the camera is important, but it's not the most important thing when you're looking at finished shots. That's because most people are looking on a computer or they're looking on a phone. And so, you know, you're always going to see sort of shrunken images. But when they come from our cameras, these raw image files are, 10 of them are enough to fill all the space on your average iPhone. So we're going to give you a download link that's going to be the right proportions and pixels for you. But yes, we could use those same ones for magazines. They're large enough to do entire posters. So it's just that the version that we send you is going to be specific for HAR. If you did want something else, we're not going to charge you for that. We already have the images. We already edit it for you. That's a good question. I've never heard that one. This man's got big plans. Awesome. I like that. I like that. Yeah. I mean, let's say you had a really nice shot that you love it and you're standing in front. In fact, I will tell you a quick promotion that we're about to put out. If you get an email from us, we're going to be doing a free headshot from now until the new year. So when we come out for all of our new clients that come to their home, we're also going to give you 2 free headshots in that. And then I think we're going to do $15 per additional one, you know, if you wanted to bring your kids or something like that. So we're going to put an email about that and come here to talk to you about it today. But yes, if you did have a really nice shot you like where you're in it, it would be size enough to fit one of these banners, to go on a magazine, anything like that. So once again, above and beyond, a house like this, it's great. But you get a better sense of the proportion when you fill the library. If you zoomed in, you can see the titles on these books. Nothing that's been banned. You're gonna have your flowers, your candles. You're gonna have everything set up correctly. If there's a fireplace, it's always gonna be lit. Virtual finishing is something that has been really popular with people selling condos. There's a lot of condos that haven't been fully built yet. There's a lot of new construction in the city. If you got your hands on that, congratulations, you know that's going to bring money and you know it's going to sell. But you might have something like this to show people. That's not hot. So we're going to turn something like this, taking all this existing structures that you've already got, the shape of the windows, where the outlets are, and we're going to turn it to this. So once again, this you want to put in a magazine, this you want to put on your social feeds. This is something that you're going to be able to sell to people before they're able to see the finished product, get them in on the ground floor. We can do this with spaces that, as long as it has the wooden beams up, we can create it for you with an authentic finish. If it's anything less than that, it's going to be a 3D model. We do that as well, but it's going to look like a 3D model. So once again, I just love doing this. Go from this to that. You just can't beat it. And once again, this is real furniture. That's why it looks so, that's why it looks this way. It's not something that's just drag and drop from the internet. Twilights is going to bring us to what you were just asking about. Typically, you pay about $100 to get a photographer at a specific time of day, that little golden hour. That's something that we can do from our computers, and then we charge about 1/10 of that price. So this is not a real skyline. Kind of hard to tell. We can do anything you want with it. Our editors are incredible. Some people, you know, want the purple sky, the accents. Some people like a little sun setting in the corner. You know, yeah, this is the kind of image that when you're browsing through HAR as a buyer, of course you've filtered. Of course you have an idea of what you're looking for. But when every listing is the same front shot of a house like this, and then you have a twilight, it really stands out. You don't have to do them all like that, but 1 or 2 images for your main one really do increase clicks. Increased clicks means increased leads. And then of course, everything is going to come with your client portal as well. You're not going to beg us for when the photos are coming back. They're already going to be there for you. You're not going to contact us a year later and say, oh, Nick, where's that one that I did a year ago? I just can't figure it out. It's all on your client portal. Your headshots, your houses, your 3D modeling, your floor plans with dimensions, everything that you need is going to be on there. We're going to personally send you an email as well that has your download link. That's going to have everything to download it. You can do the same thing from our website 24 hours a day. That includes your videos. And then you can also do online ordering. It's 24 hours. Once again, super convenient. Agents love this. You get a Saturday night, it's 10 o'clock. You're still working. I know a lot of you are still doing that. So Saturday at 10, you're like, oh man, I forgot I got to schedule that photographer. Done. Put in the address so we know where we're going, add any information that we need. If there's something that doesn't make sense to us, Dana's going to reach out to you and she's going to try and clarify with you. But our calendars are on there. We have 4 full-time photographers. We're willing to grow that if you give us a lot more business. But you'll be able to see their availability and schedule 24 hours a day. Yeah.
Is this Brandon Voss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some of you guys have probably used Voss Photography before. We haven't changed our names or anything like that, but we have been growing. So we do a lot of work in Baytown. We're throughout Houston. We're based out of Katy. We'll go as far as Austin and Dallas. We just did an Airbnb rental in Austin for a really big property there. By the way, that's another question that comes up a lot. What if I want to own the photos? That's $100 flat rate. So if you had a client that you know is going to use this as a rental property, we want them to be able to continue to use that and to be able to use those photos. Of course, it's never going to be free, but that's a really reasonable rate. We don't really make money off that. Less than 1% of our revenue comes from selling the rights to images. But that's not something you'll get from everybody. All right, and then here's the rates, just so in case folks want to take a picture. I like memes. Not sure if you're into them, but they make me laugh. There's always somebody that is willing to do it cheaper, but I will tell you right now, Studio Voss really believes in transparency. So
Well, he'll be here.
yeah, Studio Voss really believes in transparency. I will tell you, we keep our prices as low as we possibly can. The margins are slim. So that way we can shoot the most amount of houses for the most amount of agents and the most amount of areas and continue to offer the highest level of quality. I do see somebody first in the back. Yeah.
I just have 2 questions.
Yeah.
One is, do your photographers
Have super
access?
Yes, they do.
Or do they need that code?
Well, they could, I mean, they can have the access. We really prefer the codes. It's sort of like, we like to have the backup, because if we're just going by a lockbox, we don't want any technology to fail. We don't want to have to reschedule on you or call you to come out or anything like that. But yes, they're all tech savvy. They all have super drone licenses, so they can go all throughout the city. And in fact, right now, we also have the Cinewoop, which is a drone developed for the California film industry. We are the only ones in Houston with it. It allows us to take a sweeping outside shot overhead, go inside of the home, and one continuous shot, take an entire interior 3D tour with the drone, and then back outside. So if you really needed something to stand out, you have a big listing. Again, we are the only ones in the entire Houston area who have invested in that. So.
All right, so he will be here for questions. We have another class starting. He'll be here for questions.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Nicholas.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, well, we're gonna ask a question.
And what's that?
Yeah, they have a question there. Thank you guys so much. We want to thank all of our active members, active in duty, our veterans, and all of the family members that supported them. You guys have a great day. Remember, we have a 12:30 class today about benefits. Thank you all so much for the meeting.